What if one of the world's most famous children's tales is not just a bedtime story, but a fragment of knowledge passed down from civilizations more than 5,000 years ago? Imagine for a moment that the simple adventure of Jack, a boy with nothing but hope, and his magical beanstalk is not just fantasy, but a coded memory from humanity's earliest days. A poor boy, a strange bargain, a plant that pierces the heavens, and a monster above the clouds. This tale has been repeated for generations. But is it really only a fairy tale? Or is it the survival of something much older, something hidden, something forbidden? Behind this simple story lies a truth far older than England, far older than Europe itself. Anthropologists and historians have traced its roots back to the Proto-Indo-European cultures, more than 5,000 years ago. These were the people who shaped the foundations of many of today's languages, beliefs, and myths. Their stories were not written on paper. They lived in the voices of storytellers, passed from parent to child, generation after generation. In those times, stories were more than entertainment. They were lessons, survival codes, ways of keeping memory alive in a dangerous and uncertain world. And hidden inside those tales were fragments of knowledge about the sky, the earth, the gods, and the monsters that walked among men. The beanstalk is not random. It is the world tree, a sacred bridge between realms present in almost every ancient culture. In Norse mythology, it was Yggdrasil, the ash tree that connected heaven, earth, and the underworld. In Hindu traditions, it was the Ashvatha tree, rooted in the unseen and stretching toward the divine. In Mesopotamia, carvings showed a cosmic tree at the center of creation, linking mortals to the gods. Jack's climb is more than an adventure. It is the echo of humanity's oldest dream: to break limits, to reach beyond what is possible, to stand where only gods were allowed. The beanstalk is not just a plant, it is a ladder to forbidden knowledge, a dangerous path only the brave could attempt. And then there is the giant. At first glance, only a monster. But in mythology, giants are never only monsters. They are chaos, destruction, and domination. They represent rulers who crush the weak, natural forces that cannot be tamed, and fears that live deep in the human heart. The Norse feared the frost giants who threatened the world of the gods. The Greeks told of the titans who dared to challenge Zeus. Across cultures, giants appear as guardians of treasures, gold, and knowledge that mortals long to possess. In Jack's tale, the giant is not just a villain. He is the echo of those ancient adversaries, a memory of battles between humans and powers far greater than themselves. And when Jack defeats him, it is not just victory over a monster. It is a symbol of humanity confronting the impossible and daring to steal fire from the heavens. Why did this myth survive for so long? Because it carried a message that every generation needed. It warned that greed could destroy, but it also whispered that courage could save. It told children that even the smallest, the poorest, the weakest could rise above fear and challenge forces that seemed unbeatable. In a world full of danger, uncertainty, and oppression, these stories were survival guides disguised as fairy tales. The tale of Jack is not just about beans and giants. It is about the eternal human struggle against fear, against injustice, against limits. It reminds us that sometimes only those who dare to climb the impossible ladder can change their fate. Over centuries, the tale traveled. It was told around firesides, where shadows danced on stone walls. It was written in medieval manuscripts, illustrated with strange drawings of men, giants, and trees that touched the sky. It was printed in books that spread across Europe, carrying the old story into the homes of kings and peasants alike. And finally, it was transformed into modern retellings, from children's books to stage plays, to the animated worlds of Disney. The details changed, but the heart remained the same. Always a boy, always a climb, always a giant waiting above. The survival of this tale across so many centuries proves that its power lies not in magic beans, but in something deeper, its ability to carry fragments of humanity as earliest wisdom into the present day. So the next time you hear the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, remember, it is not just a children's tale to make us smile before bed. It is one of the oldest mirrors of our fears and our dreams. It is about humanity's eternal questions. How do we face what terrifies us? How do we reach for what seems impossible? What secrets from the ancient world still echo in the stories we pass down to our children? This fairy tale hides a forbidden secret, a secret that has survived for 5,000 years. And if we dare to listen, if we dare to look beyond the surface, we may finally discover that it was never just a story.